Sukhahom, Sukhahom. Now let us take up some question and answer session. Dr. Prashant.
Swamiji, thought is the major thing for which we have to maintain focus. But main thing is subconscious mind, unconscious mind, the thoughts in this mind is sometimes overpowering the thoughts which is the work which I am doing in the present context. So how to harmonize the thoughts between the subconscious and unconscious mind is one thing. Other thing, there is people say the subconscious and unconscious minds are basically something which carry from the past life. Is there something known as past life regression, which you could teach through meditation and know about our past life and undo those things which are affecting my performance in the present life?
Okay, I got it. Past life. Now, I won't touch this session. There is a conscious mind, subconscious mind, unconscious mind, superconscious mind. I have to add one more dimension. Alright, conscious mind is one, subconscious mind is one, unconscious mind is another which we are not even conscious of, and there is a super consciousness we have to connect. Right, all these are connected. The more and more you become conscious of your conscious, you will find, let me give me your keynote please. Okay, I want you to see 95% of our thoughts, please see, revolves around tension, jealousy, conclusion, judgments and worry, and 5% of thoughts are really available for technical or productive thought. Most of people are unaware how tension, jealousy, conclusion, judgments, worry overpower them. So therefore, first you have to become conscious of how tension, how you have to be conscious of jealousy. When you become conscious of tension and jealousy, 95%, how many of you are aware that 90%, you may say you are conscious, but a lot of you are unconscious of those realities. And those don't allow you to go into super consciousness. Now meditation etc., right, if you can help you, that 5% productive thought can increase much more if you become conscious and also become conscious of your subconscious, you become conscious of your unconscious, and meditation is the pathway, having satsang is the pathway, being the learning curve is the pathway. Alright, then the 5% will increase, sir. With this, you should have 100 eyes, 1000 eyes. One should see the extraordinary in the ordinary, and that's where the right super consciousness will really emerge. Right? First, I'm just leaving at this point here. Now, with reference to kind of past life regression, etc., last life regression, I have also gone to Australia, past life regression, even in states I have gone through. I myself have got the experience of past life regression. Alright, I don't want to over mystify it, but I want you to be aware of this. I want to show all of you this. Alright, and I'm going to, in the peak performance, I'm going to work on this. Alright. See, now all of you listen carefully to what I'm saying this. Very carefully listen to me. Nobody, if you are little sensitive and you are aware, you will see your present life has the breeze or the storm of the past life. All Eastern religions talk about this. The present life has a breeze or as a storm of the past life. Now, do you all think the world here, Earth, is the only planet you are living? It's a big illusion, sir. In the Hindu scripture, we say, Bhuhu, Bhuvaha, Swaha, Janaha, Mahaha, Tapaha. There are many, many worlds. Man has, human being has the arrogance. The Earth is the only living thing. The Earth is just a dot, sir, and even the whole galaxy, they say, is just a dot in the cosmos. So where can you have the illusion that you are the only person, Earth is the only thing is there? So occult science, esoteric science, mystic science, which is called spirituality, talks of intermen beings. All of you listen very carefully. And past life regression has one component, and there's another component which I'm adding to this. Right? We are beings here, there is intermen beings. The Hindus call it devas, The esoteric people have different names to it. They call as interment beings. Now I am showing this keynote. It's called Mahir Baba, was somewhere in Ahmednagar. Mahir Baba was a Parsi person, Iranian Parsi guy. He is an Indian. He is a great mystic. He was Mauni Baba. He was not even speaking. He is one of the great mystics of recent India. Mahir Baba, Parsi gentleman, he was going there. As he was going, there is this kind of Balchistan Pashtun Muslim lady who is an Indian but coming from a kind of Balchistan, right? Hazrat Baba Jan, her name was, and she was seated under a tree. And even if you go to Ahmednagar, which is near Pune, maybe about 45 minutes or 2 hours drive from Pune, I remember I and Srinivasan is here from Bombay, Vashi, we both drove there, right? And if you see that under a tree, this lady was sitting and Mahir Baba was going. This 90 years old lady goes and kisses him on the forehead. Kisses him on the forehead. And when he kisses him forehead, he gets into a trance world. Practically he becomes a trance. He gets in such a trance world, he get into it, he was disoriented. And then afterward, Shirdi Baba's, I think, great student, he sees him and takes a stone and throws it on his head. And then Mahir Baba comes into a balance. And he became one of the greatest mystics of recent time. Now, when he became Brahman, he used to go for 2-3 years in Mahir Baba in his life. He stopped speaking. 2-3 years he used to go, and he had an occult power where people who are meditating, somewhere they slip into it and they become semi-mad. So he had the power to go and meet some people who have gone into that state and go and set him. And therefore, the tradition goes, he had the direct connection of interment beings, which we call devatas. Right? Hindus call devata being, and that power for 2 years or 3 years he went around and do. Please see. Now, why am I saying all this is, you have to accept there are interment realities, and if your frequency of your being, I've always noticed in a workshop when I take, especially E-Lab, etc., when people's frequencies are very high, I really feel sometimes there is some presence. There's some divine presence which will be there, and the tradition says then when good frequency is there, they are devatas, they are interment beings will come and support. In Ramayana they say when you are giving a Ramayana discourse, always Hanuman is seated, it is said. And many times I have noticed when I am giving talks on the Gita, etc., I wouldn't have prepared a talk, suddenly I find some thoughts emerging like this. I always feel, right, good souls are waiting there to bless a good people. But what is important? Your frequency should be pure. Your frequency should be sattva. Nitya sattvastaha. In the Gita it is said, Traigunya Vishaya Vedaha Nistraigunyo Bhavarjuna. Nirdvandvaha Nitya Sattvastaha. When you are a pure state, your frequencies will become, and when your frequencies are pure, there are certain kind of interment beings which will come. Now this is occult science, and therefore this is a very kind of proven dimension which is there. Now, like people like Srinivas Rao who wants to know what are the books I read. If you read this, one of the books is the Gurdjieff book. Right? Gurdjieff is a great Russian mystic, and if you look at it in his life also, one of the beautiful books is, what is that? His tales to his grandson. Beelzebub's tales to his grandson. If you read that book, it's a very difficult book. I've got it right in front of me. It's a very difficult book. Right? You need tremendous patience to read that book, and as you're reading, you will get bored to the core, and suddenly you get a powerful insight. And he was one of the greatest mystics, again of recent times, called Gurdjieff. If you read Krishnamurti's notebook, you will see these, even Krishnamurti's notebooks, you will find he personally has written his experiences, even though in his discourse he doesn't say, but in his discourses, or in his notebook he has mentioned how the different thing which will impact. So therefore, please see this dimension. This is my Guru, Swami Chinmayananda, and his Guru is Tapon Maharaj. Certain areas in Himalayas is named after him. The place which is seated there, We have gone there in Uttarkashi, his same hut, we have meditated, and his life also it is there, which is there. So therefore, they are beings which support us, and therefore I have written, if you want to become divine, emulate the divine. If you want to be healthy, emulate the health. If you want to be magnificent, you become magnificent. You want to be unlimited, you have to emulate being unlimited. Why am I saying this? Don't have the arrogance you are the only living being here. But you have to keep in Nitya Sattvastha, in a pure state. When you are pure state, you find intermittent beings supporting. Alright? Regression, age regression, all this helps you to connect to the past. Past has an influence, but you don't have to go through all this, but each mystic has his own method. See, the book I told you, I'll show you the book which I have. This is the book. It is so thick, you can take down the book there. His tales to his grandson, Gurdjieff. Now his method and his life, if you see, so many occult experiences. The book is so huge. It is so boring to read, but suddenly you will get an insight. But your frequency should be very, very high. Alright, to read this book, right now, this book helped me to understand the original book. This book helped me to read the original book of Gurdjieff, which is a very, very hard book to read. So boring it is. But with the help of this book, when she gave me on one of my birthdays, she gave me, and what I did, I went all the way to meet his grandson, and he's one of the Jacob Needleman. I personally met him with Shakila in California. Alright, and this helped me to read this book there. And if you read, all these experiences are wonderful, which happens. Now, but his method is boring book to the core, but if you are persistent, something opens up. And it's clearly, unless you have an intermittent being helping you, you will not understand the book. This is my experience, you will not understand the book. But therefore your frequency, Lord Krishna says, Nitya Saswataha. Nitya. Devan bhavayatan deva, o devan bhavayantu vaha. In the Krishna and the Bhagavad Gita says, you please the devas, devas will please you, not God. God is not devas. You please the higher beings will please you. And then you will open up. So I am saying, this book helps me to understand this book. The author of this book, I have met him personally, and that key becomes here. And now the book shows, unless there is a higher being in you, it will not open up. That's the risk he has paid, which is there. So therefore, I am only trying to say, right, they are intermittent souls. When you come to that frequency, those souls will connect. Now, how I have given you the connection to understand book, right? Now, you can get the key anywhere. You can be doing farming, and in the farm you can get it. By working with you, talking with you, certain insights open up. I also experience a different person guiding while I am doing this. Anything can happen. Alright? Lord Krishna says, you nourish the devas, devas will nourish you. But in language you understand, they are intermittent beings. If you go in the same frequency, they will guide. It can be your taking charge of farm, you can be changing of the house or your grandchildren, God knows what. Sukhahom, sukhahom, sukhahom.